Distance nerding.
Hey! Sorry, everybody.
Hello.
How's everybody doing tonight? Doing great?
Good? You good? We good.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Taco Tuesday. You know what that means. You are now experiencing distance nerding.
Part of the Geek Freaks networks of podcasts. Oh, my God.
Yeah. I know, right? It's nice to say it. He's the asterisk of the show.
Oh.
He's somewhere, because he was late. It's Jahmez 5000.
Absolutely rude. He's now the unemployed Jimmy Smith's stunt double. It's young Phil.
That tracks a little bit. And we're
here to nerd
together.
We're talking about anything, pop culture, news, movies, food, music, wrestling, comics, whatever, and Comic-Cons. Whatever you're nerding out on, we want to talk about it.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're on YouTube right now, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. And listen on your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review. If you're listening on Spotify, you can leave individual reviews for individual episodes. It really does help us out, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, 5 stars if you're going to rate us, because it does help. Now, of course, you can follow us on all the social media places: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Threads, Blue Sky, Discord, all at Distance Nerding. And of course, if you want to send us an email, you can email us at your favorite place, as long as that favorite place is distancenerding@aol.com.
If AOL is your favorite place, I think there's other issues.
Absolutely different issues going on at that point, right? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you have now stumbled onto the worst kept secret on all of the internet. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching The Download.
Distance Nerding is part of the Geek Freaks network of podcasts, connecting, informing, entertaining fellow geeks and nerds. We're creating a space where fans can explore their favorite fandoms, discover new ones, and engage in meaningful discussions. Check out more shows like Geek Freaks Podcast, Challenge Accepted, Outlast Podcasts, Fandom Portals, Who's Got Next Game, Disney Mom's Gone Wrong, who just came back after a hiatus,
right?
Geek Freaks Interviews, Headlines, Anime Plus, and of course, The Distance Nerding. Oh, yeah.
That's right. It's us. We're there.
So whether you're into the latest blockbuster films that we'll talk about today, or classic video games, or niche comic series, the Geek Freaks Network has got you covered. Find out more at gfpods.com.
It's time to start some rumors. I think I might have to play this on Saturday.
Belarus to Madeira, DC Studios might have egg or clay on its face. First, Sergeant Rock has bit the dust. We'll talk more about that in a minute.
Right.
And now, Clayface, one of the more interesting entries in James Gunn's DCU, is headed back to square one. Horror director James Watkins was tapped to bring Clayface to life, but a script written by Mike Flanagan. But now we're hearing the project may not be as far along as we hoped. We talked about it before that it was like immediately greenlit, immediately being written and whatnot. But I guess Mike Flanagan only wrote a skeleton script, so just pretty much an outline for the movie. But then he shifted because he got the Stephen King's Carrie series. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he has to write that now. So he's kind of said, peace out, DC. I got that Stephen King money. So what's all that mean? That means Clayface is reportedly undergoing a full page one rewrite, which is industry speak for they're starting over.
From scratch.
So talk is on the table. Is DC in a crisis already?
I don't think they are. Not with this. My tacos are off the table if that's the case. And the reason is because there's a couple of different projects that they've been kind of like trying to like figure out and everything like that, but they have like held their guns on this Clayface movie. So it feels like this skeleton that they have put together is good enough that they're like, okay, well, if we can flesh out the rest of this movie can be really good. And depending on what version of Clayface that they are basing it on, there are versions of Clayface in the comics that are like, this is full on horror movie. You know, so like, and I know James Gunn is trying to go the route of Marvel with putting different genre and different like kind of just different tones within DC in order to create a more kind of like built world. So doing a horror corner with Clayface, I think would be amazing.
I hope they still do it. That's all. I understand they may have to pull back a little bit, but I hope they continue with the project because it just sounds interesting and it'd be such a new take on what the DCU has to offer. So
Right.
All right.
Well, let's go ahead and move on here. The next story that we've got going on, I got a strange feeling about. It's really got me feeling a little weird. Will Poulter from Midsummer, Dope Sick, The Bear, Death of the Unicorn. He made his Marvel debut in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy 3 as Adam Warlock. Now the rumors are closing or circulating that Poulter would reunite with James Gunn and make his DCU debut in a show or movie, first before headlining a Adam Strange series for Max. It's kind of funny. He's going from Adam Warlock to Adam Strange. Ladies and gentlemen, tacos on the table. He's no doctor, but do you think this rumor is strange?
I think there is going to be a little bit of an exodus from Marvel over to DC with James Gunn spearheading things. People that he's worked with, just like this, just like Will Poulter. I think we're going to get some more Guardians that are going to come over. We talked about, Sean Gunn earlier in the show, but just like he's going from Marvel over to DC, I think Will Poulter is going to be jumping over. So tacos on the table. Absolutely. Will Poulter will be Adam Strange.
Yeah, I agree. Will Poulter makes sense to move over, but like you're saying, I think a lot of actors are going to find their way into DC, knowing the work that James Gunn does, knowing how dedicated to the comics he is. I see a lot of actors kind of doing double duty, and like some are probably going to stay in Marvel, but then also do another character in DC. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where the route goes with all that.
Yeah, totally. Okay. Next one. Death comes for us all. Even back to the MCU, a new rumor is floating around saying that Aubrey Plaza, your girl, Aubrey.
My girl, Aubrey Plaza.
Isn't done with the MCU. The actress appeared in the Disney Plus series Agatha all along as Rio Vidal, who later became Lady Death. The rumor is Plaza could return in a follow-up series involving Agatha and Billy. Interesting. But Marvel Studios has also started filming Vision Quest, a series centered on Vision, since Billy and Tommy are Vision's sons in MCU canon. A crossover or Death's reappearance in the storyline remains possible. Tacos on the table. Is Marvel on a quest to have more Death in the MCU?
I absolutely do believe that. I mean, you wouldn't cast Aubrey Plaza as Lady Death because she's kind of like, I mean, she's had a steady career, but she's kind of on an uptick with some of the projects that she's done recently. And then on top of that, Lady Death is a massive character in the comics, so it makes sense to bring her back, especially in reference or like in proximity to Billy and his brother, and specifically, I want to see the involvement between her and Scarlet Witch. So it'll be interesting to see where she fits into all this.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. Tacos on the table. You don't bring on Aubrey Plaza to just have her in one series and be done with it. They got plans, whether it's, phase 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, she's going to find her way back. Same thing with Catherine Hahn. They're going to find a way to bring them back,
Right.
Sorry, Jeremy Renner, but Aubrey Plaza and Catherine Hahn are what people are asking for. But we'll talk more, Jeremy.
We'll talk about Jeremy Renner in a little bit here. So in X news, moving on from here, X news that just makes me all giddy. Or I guess you know what? This is where we change this to. I feel just like a little girl news.
I feel just like a little girl.
Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds is already brainstorming a new Marvel Studios project, and it won't be a traditional Deadpool movie. The initial report said that Ryan Reynolds is developing a film where Deadpool would team up with 3 or 4 X-Men characters. Notably, this movie is not connected to the X-Men reboot, so the rumor is that it could be an X-Force movie. X-Force has always been the darker, messier counterpart to the traditional X-Men, the Black Ops or Outcast team of mutants. So tacos on the table. It was just Cinco de Mayo. Will Ryan Reynolds DoorDash as the Deadpool X-Force chimichanga combo plate?
I honestly think so. These movies have made so much money, and they did such a good job introducing him into the like Disney official MCU version of Marvel. No way they're gonna stop this franchise. No way. They're gonna find a way to make it happen. And I think having it kind of keeping it sort of adjacent to the MCU works better.
Yeah.
You know, they can make all the connections they want to do, but Marvel doesn't have to worry about what Deadpool's doing over here in some weird corner of the universe. It's just let him be Deadpool, and that's fine.
Right. I mean, he's already said that he doesn't believe that he's going to be an Avenger. You're not going to get a lot of that just because he feels like that's the end of Deadpool's when you make him an Avenger.
Right.
So yeah, I do see Marvel saying, "Oh, let's let Ryan do whatever the hell he wants. The guy makes money. Like he just prints money when it comes to Deadpool and these characters and everything like that." I would love to see them just say, like, just let Deadpool be in his own universe, and now that you can play with all the toys, just let him play with whatever toys he wants.
Yeah, let him play over in the corner. He's fine. He's
right.
Fine.
Yeah. So yeah, tacos on the table for that.
But speaking of the MCU, Doctor Doom is a magnet for some mayhem in the MCU. This one's fun.
That's pretty funny.
Marvel Avengers Doomsday is officially in production, and while Marvel Studios is keeping most details under wraps, a new report is sure to get fans excited. The rumor suggests a fight sequence is currently in development between Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom and Sir Ian McKellen's Magneto. I didn't know we needed this, but now that they said it,
we
this.
need this.
You can see, this is going to be amazing. The scene is reportedly set in the iconic X Mansion, which is said to be under attack. There is no leaked photos, but it's hard to imagine that the cinematic clash will be epic. Oh my God, this is going to be amazing. Avengers Doomsday is set to be released on May 1st, 2026. Tacos on the table. Are senior citizens going to save or destroy the MCU?
Yes, senior citizens are going to be fighting. Magneto is going to break a hip and then still use his powers to just throw Doctor Doom across the room.
Yeah.
So
The hip.
Yeah, 100%. The thing is Sir Ian McKellen's portrayal of Magneto has a lot of gravitas to it. So I think it's going to be a masterclass of acting more than anything. And that fight scene, I'm sure they're going to have to use a lot of CG to make Ian McKellen look, not old anymore.
Not old.
Sorry, I'm not trying to shit on Ian McKellen, but he is a little bit older now.
He's a lot a bit older. I mean, he was old 20 years ago when the X-Men movies came out. All right, but yeah, tacos on the table for that one. I want to see that one.
Absolutely. So that is it for rumors for the week here, ladies and gentlemen. We will be posting everything online and whatnot. So if you're more interested in checking out some of the stories, just follow us as it is, and you'll see more from us. So now, with that all being said, of course, it is now time for our favorite part. It's time for the download. Wrong one. Yeah, this tends to happen a lot. It's because I'm
Just take two. We'll fix it in post. No worries.
in post.
For more news, trailers, reactions, check out the Distance Nerdington post on Facebook. Let us know what you're nerding out on. I just posted like 5 different new trailers. Like everything's dropping right now, getting ready for summer. So go check out the Distance Nerdington post on Facebook. Do a Google, do a search. You'll find it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
All right, let's dive in. We're starting off summer movie blockbusters strong. This is going to be good. Oh, you saw this one, so let me get through this, and I'll let you cook on it. Sinners is still going strong. The R-rated vampire horror flick earned 179.9 million so far, pushing its global total to a very impressive 236.7 million. Oh my gosh. And then right after that, Marvel Thunderbolts is off to a start with 162 million, giving the MCU a solid kickoff for summer. What, they have two movies coming? Yeah, that's crazy. And then Minecraft continues to stack blocks of gold, and it stands at $873 million worldwide. That's 3 movies. 3. And we're pushing $1 billion, over $1 billion with 3 movies. So Minecraft making it the highest grossing Hollywood release of the year so far. Wait till Fantastic Four happens. With theaters movies ramping up, do you see a steady diet of popcorn and junior mints in your future?
Absolutely. So I've already gone to 2 movies in the last like month where I've been on like a movie drought for like the last year.
Yeah.
You know, so I went to go see Thunderbolts over the weekend. I saw Sinners last week. Sinners was the surprise like amazing movie. And it's like, you know, I heard a lot of people talking about it, but going to go see it, that movie is an experience. Like you need to go see it. If you have not gone to see Sinners yet, what are you waiting on? Like Ryan Coogler made a cinematic masterpiece in this movie. And it blends the perfect amount of lore with history, with action, with horror. There's so much layer. Like there are so many layers to this movie. It is absolutely, it needs to win all of the awards, honestly.
I've heard nothing but good stuff about Sinners. Everybody is raving about this movie. So I totally want to check this one out. That one looks fun.
Absolutely. And then again,
wait, real quick. You don't have to spoil it for me, but Sinners, is it a horror movie or like, I don't know, sci-fi, fantasy, action? What?
It's more of a thriller with horror elements in it.
Mm-hmm.
So like there are like horror elements in it, but I mean it's mostly like a drama and a thriller.
Right. There's vampires, but they're not glittery, right?
Definitely not glittery. No. They're like, you know, the monster vampires, and you almost feel sympathetic for the vampire for a second. Again, there are a lot of layers in this movie. It is not a, you know, one stroke just it's not one of those movies where like everything is just simple, like everything is complicated, but it's so well written and so well layered that it just keeps you interested the entire time. This is one of those movies you're gonna want to go see 2 or 3 times.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. All right. I will have to check that out. But let's keep it going. Hollywood is just getting started. Again, movies. Get ready for a massive Memorial Day weekend at the movies with a live action Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning hitting theaters early. Tracking suggests the films combined could deliver $200 million over the 4-day holiday weekend, making it one of the biggest Memorial Day box office hauls ever. We just talked about like 3 movies made over $1 billion so far. Now add 2 more and it's got like another almost $250 million. Like,
yeah.
Hollywood is back. Lilo and Stitch is projected to lead the weekend with an estimated $120 million over the 4 days. Mission Impossible Fun is on track for 80 million. Oh my gosh. Fun fact, record of the biggest Memorial Day weekend still belongs to 2013 when the instant classic Fast and the Furious 6,
Oh God.
Timeless, Hangover Part 3
Okay.
helped the overall box office at $314 million. Dude, if Fast and the Furious 6 and Hangover Part 3 can do over $300 million,
They
dude,
should do even more because this is the last Mission Impossible movie. And on top of that, Lilo and Stitch looks amazing. That's
And-
probably the movie I'm gonna watch.
a beloved Disney franchise. Come on. Are you
Right.
kidding me? There's so much money to be made over Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, it looks really good. It looks a lot better than I was expecting it to be in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, like when I heard that they were coming out with a live action Lilo and Stitch, I was just like, do we need this? Stitch is gonna look weird, and then now we see Stitch, and it's like, nope, he looks perfect. Okay, I'm okay with this.
He looks good. He does not look like Sonic or Ugly Sonic.
He doesn't look like ugly Sonic.
He looks super cute. We're all excited. All my kids have Stitch stuffed animals that they're sleeping with, getting ready for the film.
Oh, they got stuffies already? That's adorable.
Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I want one now. So
I know, so do I. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move on here. Over to Hulu for some feudal streaming news. Like an all-you-can-eat sushi bar, Shogun ate up 18 Emmy wins, including lead actor for Hiroyuki Sanada and lead actress for Anna Sawai. Shogun becomes FX's most watched series ever, which I watched it. I loved it. I watched it week to week. I didn't wait for the end. It's one of those shows that I wanted to watch over the week. So FX's award-slicing epic Shogun is officially getting a season 2, while season 1 wrapped up the full story from the book. The creative team is ready to turn that page and write a brand new chapter. And Cosmo Jarvis is back, playing the titular character or the main character. FX confirms season 2 will be a wholly original new chapter to the first season, unlike the debut run, which adapted James Clavell's best-selling novel. This next installment leaps 10 years into the future, so we do have
that's interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say we do have
a
do that.
Not an official synopsis. Don't stab me with a katana. It's not a synopsis.
Not an official synopsis. Don't stab me with a katana. It's not a synopsis. A lot of synopsises there. The show will continue to follow the uneasy alliance and evolving dynamic between John Blackthorne, who's played by Cosmo Jarvis, the English pilot who helped tip the scales of Japan's civil war, and Lord Yoshi Toranaga, who was played by Hiroyuki Sanada, who rose to power through brutal strategy and political cunning. FX teases that the second season continues the historically inspired saga of these two men from different worlds whose fates are inextricably entwined. The new chapter will begin filming in January, again in feudal Vancouver. No date when Shogun season 2 will draw its sword. I loved season 1. I thought it was amazing. I initially said I was not on board for season 2 because I kind of, I'm they're
Purist.
kind of a purist, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to be let down the way that like Game of Thrones let me down in the last 2 seasons, or how Lost let everybody down in the finale. Like they're taking a story and they're adding to that story, and I want it to still be in the vein and respect the original.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, there's a lot of fear, but there's also a lot of hope. And I know that Hiroyuki Sanada is also executive producing and helping with some of the writing. So that's a big deal to me, is that somebody like Hiroyuki Sanada, who does respect the history of that and wants something that portrays that in the best way possible. I'm more on board because Hiroyuki Sanada is still a part of it.
That's a good point. I don't really pay attention much to executive producers, but you're right. Knowing that one of the major actors and, honestly, a revered actor
Yeah,
is part of this, I think it'll be okay.
yeah. The man is a real samurai.
Yeah.
You
He's a
know,
real samurai executive producing. If something goes wrong, we'll know.
yeah, exactly. He's gonna take your head, so don't worry about it.
Don't be in the HR department of this show. Okay.
Right. So let's move on here, guys. Rockstar just stalled. Rockstar's long-awaited Grand Theft Auto 6 won't be speeding in 2025 anymore. It's now officially set for release in 2026. Strauss Zelnick, CEO of Rockstar's parent company Take-Two Interactive, is backing the decision with full-throated support, saying, "We fully support Rockstar Games taking additional time to realize their creative vision for Grand Theft Auto 6, which promises to be a groundbreaking blockbuster entertainment experience that exceeds audience expectations." So, ladies and gentlemen, Grand Theft Auto 6 will be drifting into a May 26th of 2026 release.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not a big gamer, but that sucks. Wasn't it supposed to come out sometime this year?
It was supposed to come out at the end of the year. Now, I've said this in the past. I'm 100% okay with a studio pushing the game back
Mm-hmm.
if it means that there's not going to be any crunch and it means that they are going to put out a better product. It's going to be more tested. It's going to be just a better game overall. What I don't want is, oh, we have a date set already and we are going to put that game out by this date, even if it's not done. And then we're just going to put out DLC to fix everything. Like that's what Cyberpunk did. Right. And Cyberpunk wasn't as good when it first came out. Took a year before it was the game that it was meant to be.
Right. And
You know?
that's
So,
and that's a year of bad publicity,
right.
So even though, yeah, any publicity is good publicity, but like just the reputation of like, oh, it's a bad game is going to make people not want to get it. So
Right. So again,
interesting.
I'm on board for them pushing the game back if necessary.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Okay. We mentioned it earlier, but let's get back to some DCU. Another promising DC project has hit the brakes. Oh my goodness. We'll always have the Penguin, I guess, because Colin Farrell was set up to suit up as World War II icon Sergeant Rock in a new DCU film, but those plans have officially been put at ease, soldier, at least for now. According to Deadline, the production, which was supposed to begin filming this summer in England, has been halted. No one at DC has offered any public comment, and the reason behind the stoppage has not been revealed. So weird. Pre production had already started and casting was underway. Whether DC is reshuffling its priorities or this project is another casualty of studio pivoting remains to be seen. For now, Sergeant Rock has been told to stand down, soldier.
I don't want to get into any of the politics of things.
Get into
But the president announced that he's going to be tariffing any movies that are made overseas.
Oh.
And so if Sergeant Rock was set to be filming in the UK, they may be changing priorities in order to either try and move it to the US or try and figure something out on the side. So there's a lot of that going on.
Wow, I didn't realize that was happening.
Yeah, he announced it on Sunday.
That is nuts.
Yeah, he's going to
Any
be
movie outside of the US?
right. Any movie not made in the United States, he's going to put a tariff on.
Does that? I wonder if that'll go for like TV shows. We just talked about Shogun. I wonder if Shogun's going to get tariffed because it's going to be filmed in Canada.
His intention is he wants all filming to be moved back to the United States for everything, for any studio that's based in the United States.
Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Shogun's going to get double tariffed because it's going to be filmed in Vancouver in Canada, but then it's so Double tariff. Thanks a lot.
I don't know what just happened right now.
You're pressing buttons. It's okay. I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm good.
But you were saying it was going to be filmed in Canada.
Yeah. Feudal Canada.
Right. In feudal Canada.
That's right. Everybody knows there's feudalness happening in Vancouver.
Yeah. I guess that's part of the other thing too, is they want to try. His intention is to try and get filming incentives taken away from Vancouver and brought back to Atlanta and LA.
Well, I mean, I kind of get it. I kind of get it, but that sucks for production and things that have been in motion, for years and years, to all of a sudden be like, guess what? Tariffs thing. Deal
So
with
I mean, I don't know to what extent that has to do with why it's going on there, or if it's something that has to do with Colin Farrell, or if it has to do with the script. But I mean, it may be that has something to do with it as well. So we can't take that off the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if they're in a taco.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and move on. Star Wars bailed, and Smits and Alderaan is Vatos Locos forever, I say. Orale.
Vatos Locos forever.
Vatos Locos forever. Okay. In Andor season 2.
Orale, carnal.
Orale, carnal. Okay. That is like derivative of my people, but I mean, it's okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not an LA Mexican. I am a San Francisco Nicoya, but I mean, that's fine. In Andor Season 2, Episode 6, a notable exception popped up. Senator Bail Organa made an appearance, except this time, the character wasn't played by Jimmy Schmitz.
What? Bail
Organa has been recast, and according to series creator Tony Gilroy, it wasn't for lack of trying. Speaking about bringing back Jimmy Smits, Gilroy said, the scheduling didn't work out. We really tried hard, but he wasn't available and couldn't make it. La Mera Mera, President Kathleen Kennedy, stepped in by recommending Benjamin Bratt from Coco, Law and Order to fill the role. Gilroy fully embraced the idea, praising both the choice of Bratt himself. It was just a brilliant idea. He's a wonderful human being and really eager and beloved on set, and really happy about what he does. So how do you feel about the recasting specifically? Because I actually have more information than what was told on here.
Okay, so let me go first real quick then.
Yeah.
This show is so good, and it's doing such a good job with Easter eggs. I couldn't figure out if this was like another Easter egg, but then I got the news about the recasting. Honestly, I'm okay with it. I like Benjamin Bratt. I've always liked Benjamin Bratt. And it's nice to know that we tried to get Jimmy Smits back, but we couldn't make it happen. We had to keep going with our production before tariff hits. But, I'm good with Benjamin Bratt. Let's keep the show going. I'm okay with it. Tell me about this. Tell me about what you think about Jimmy Smits being recast.
So the situation was more so the reason Jimmy Smits couldn't come on, why he had scheduling conflicts. Jimmy Smits is battling cancer right now. So he had chemo set up and everything. He's been doing chemotherapy, and he felt that he wasn't strong enough to be able to even for like a couple of hours of
work. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's really sad. If I didn't realize he had cancer and was going through treatments. But what were you saying about?
Yeah, so he's been going through chemotherapy, and he actually also handpicked Benjamin Bratt.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, so that there was another interview that I was reading, and it said that he actually recommended Benjamin Bratt. So not only was it, I mean, I'm sure, in this article that we pulled everything from, yeah, I think they're giving the credit to Kathleen Kennedy, but I think Jimmy Smits is probably the one that told Kathleen Kennedy, hey, if anybody's gonna do this role, you should get Benjamin Bratt to do it. All right,
so that's a good call.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, Benjamin Bratt looks like he could be related to Jimmy Smits. Like he really does. They look honestly, very similar.
When I think they said what keyed in my my hearing was they said Organa, and I was like, oh. And then I saw him. I saw Benjamin Bratt, and I was like, is that another Organa? And then they said his name,
Right.
Bale. I'm like, oh, that's Bale Organa. He got recast.
Right. And the other thing about that is, like, you know, I've been making jokes, and this is probably going to end up becoming a YouTube short that people are going to yell at me about. But hey, keep Bale Organa Latino.
Yeah, we need Latinos in space. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, you know, Jimmy Smits is Puerto Rican,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's half Dutch, half Puerto Rican. Benjamin Bratt is Mexican. So yeah, let's keep Bale Organa Latino.
I'm all for that. We need more space tacos.
More space tacos. All
Right.
for it.
Chewbacca would be happy for that one.
You would be very happy for that. Let's go ahead and keep it going here.
You know who's not happy? Jeremy Renner is the mayor of Clapback Town. Oh, this one's spicy.
Pissed.
Jeremy Renner isn't mincing words when it comes to why Hawkeye hasn't come back for a second season. According to him, it all boils down to being offered half the salary he earned in the first series. So weird. Renner revealed that when Marvel approached him to reprise his role as Clint Barton, the deal was insulting him. He said, they asked me to do season 2 and they offered me half the money. I'm like, well, it's going to take me twice the amount of work for half the amount of money and 8 months of my time essentially to do it for half the amount. What made the offer even more frustrating for Renner was the sense of his 2023 near-death accident might have played into the pay cuts. He said, I'm like, I'm sorry, why? Did you think I'm only half the Jeremy Renner because I got ran over? Maybe that's why you want to pay me half of what I made in the first season? Wow. Renner made it clear this wasn't about a creative disagreement with Marvel, saying, this is not Marvel. Mind you, this is like just Disney. Ooh, watch out. Not even really Disney. It's just the penny pinchers, the accountants. I told them to go fly a kite. I mean, just
Sure.
at the insult of the offer. So we didn't see eye to eye on it. Get it? Hawkeye didn't see eye to eye.
I'm sure that's exactly what he said. He told him to go fly a kite.
I know. So the disappointing negotiations, Renner still holds affection for the role and added, sadly, I still love the character. I'd still love to do it, but I had to defend myself. I didn't ask for any more money, mind you. Just pay me what I made in the first season.
Yeah.
He didn't ask for anything more. It's not like he turned into a diva. Looks like we'll have to wait for a Thunderbolts 2 for a second helping of some spicy mac and cheese.
What he's asking is fair. Like it's fair. Give him what he made in the first season. Unless you are completely cutting that character and like we're getting Jeremy Renner for like one scene, which is, I mean, that I get it. We want to see more Kate Bishop. Kate Bishop was an amazing character and she had a great introduction. And she is blowing up, especially after being in Sinners and having a breakout role in Sinners. But at the same time, we watch Hawkeye because Jeremy Renner is Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Right. And he brings so much to that character in humor, in action, and just everything he does with that character. Jeremy Renner is Clint Barton. And we don't, I mean, and like, unless you're cutting out Clint Barton completely, it doesn't make sense to not pay him what he made in the first season.
Yeah. I thought that was super disrespectful. Half the amount that he got paid for season 1, the pay is supposed to go up. That's so weird. I did also read something about maybe they were using this as a reason to not do a season 2. Like, people like the show well enough, they even talked about him, like, maybe this comes back every Christmas, or every other Christmas to do a Hawkeye series, but throwing him half the amount that he got paid in the first series was kind of a way for Disney or whoever it may be, Marvel, Disney, accountants to just go, you know what? He didn't take the role. It's not our fault.
Yeah.
Not our fault. He just decided he didn't want it. He wanted more money. So it's almost a way for them to like throw it back at Jeremy Renner and say like, this is why we're not pushing forward with this series.
Yeah, Eric saying the recent series of box office and TV flops have had a big effect on Disney paying actors what they deserve. That's his opinion. I mean, I don't think he's too far off. I don't think Eric's far off with what he's saying. I think a lot of it also is just Disney afraid to pull the trigger because they've lost so much money on some of the things that they've done.
Yeah.
You know.
But half the amount, I couldn't get over that when I was reading it. I'm like, what? Half the amount?
I'm with you on that. That's disrespectful. I mean, Jeremy Renner has done so much for the franchise, for Marvel in general, and to like say, "Oh, we're only going to give you half what you made in the first one." That's just why. Why would you do that to him?
Yeah, it's messed up. Messed up. All right. Speaking of messed up, you ready for this one? This one's on.
I am absolutely ready for this one. So let's talk about some spicy, because Marvel is getting spicy with some major name changes. Oh man, and I've already seen the internet blow back on this. So we'll talk about this here in a second. Marvel Studios has officially pulled back the curtain on the mystery behind Thunderbolts asterisk and its curious asterisk. And now the movie is officially being marketed as the New Avengers. Updated billboards and theater standees have already started appearing with the New Avengers branding. Fun fact, not the first time a studio has pivoted like this. Remember when Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn was rebranded mid-theatrical run as Harley Quinn Birds of Prey? You guys don't remember that? Or when Edge of Tomorrow got a marketing makeover as Live, Die, Repeat for its home release? You guys not remember that? I remember all of that. Now that it's officially out, how would you have felt in the beginning if the title was New Avengers?
You know, I forgot about the whole Edge of Tomorrow one, but the Harley Quinn one was really hard. It's like, how did it get that far? You know, and then they're like, let's add Harley Quinn.
It's that whole thing was just because they realized at the last minute, and remember, there was always dumb moves at DC at that time.
Let's chalk it up to Warner. Can we say Warner?
Right. No, I mean it's Warner Brothers. Let's
blame Warner.
A spade, right? Like Warner Brothers screwed that up, and it was their whole thing was okay. Well, Harley Quinn is the character everybody's like in love with and wants to go see, so let's rebrand it. And because if we say Birds of Prey, people are not going to know that Harley Quinn is in this movie.
Yeah.
Right. I like the original name. I thought Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. It was long and it was a mouthful, but like those things.
It was cheeky. It was meant to be like that.
Exactly. It's that kind of thing is attention grabbing. It's funny. It's the reason that I write our episode names the same way that they do that, is because it might be long and a mouthful, but it is something that catches attention. Because people are like, why would they name it that? Oh, they named it that because of this. Like those kind of things I think are great. Now, it seems like Feige had always planned to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This does not seem like it was something that was like a last minute change. This seems like, okay, we're going to wait a week when people have seen the movie and then we're going to rebrand it.
Right.
Hence the asterisk.
This feels like when Winter Soldier came out, you know, and the whole Hydra reveal.
Yeah.
And then that affected Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It felt like that.
Yeah.
They were just waiting for like a moment to happen in the MCU. And then they're going to, you know, kind of let the ripples take off from there. How do you feel? So my question to you is, if they would have named this the New Avengers at the beginning, we never got the name Thunderbolts. How would you have felt about the name The New Avengers?
I probably would have been less likely to go see it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. Like Thunderbolts was the attention grabber because as a comic book fan, as somebody who knows the comics, Thunderbolts it caught my attention more. Right? Versus you do the New Avengers from the beginning and you show who the lineup of the New Avengers are, it's not as enticing, right? But if you know who the Thunderbolts are, it makes more sense to do the Thunderbolts. Now, what I was talking about at the beginning of when I first started talking about the story is I was on the internet and I saw how people were reacting to this. It's always funny to me when you see the non-comic book readers, but the I know everything because I watch all the MCU movie people coming out of the woodwork talking about the new Avengers. That's not my Avengers. This is not the Avengers. That's the worst Avengers ever. And it's like, no, this is more akin to the Dark Avengers.
Yeah.
Right? If you know the comics, and there is a new Avengers that the team is like this, right? And the team is headed up by Baron Zemo, which apparently there was news that came out that originally Baron Zemo was supposed to be the one that put the team together.
Yeah.
Right, but they ended up changing it at the last minute. But you know, the new Avengers, they did that, and then that in the comics, that new Avengers becomes the Dark Avengers, who are run by Norman Osborn. Right, I feel like because Norman Osborn hasn't been introduced in live action, they did the placeholder, kind of how they did with Civil War. They did a placeholder and did the same thing, but with Madam Hydra, because she has been in the last phase as kind of like the one running things in the background, right? So again, for all the people out there who are not fans of the comics or who didn't read the comics and are really upset that this is the new Avengers, well, the whole thing with this is that these are the Dark Avengers. These are the guys that were run by Norman Osborn. You know, and then on top of that, should I drop a spoiler right now?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Well, let's just say I'm not going to give you a full spoiler. I'm going to give it is a spoiler, but I'm not saying exactly the thing. Go back
in this. What?
No, go back and listen to our prediction episode where we're predicting what teams were going to be in Doomsday. We predicted something that basically got confirmed in this movie in regard to the Avengers. So
all right.
Yeah, so like again, that's a spoiler because you go back to the episode and you'll see that. Specifically mine, I talked about this very specifically about what I want to see in Doomsday with Avengers teams. And they basically confirmed it at the end of the movie. So we know that this is where it's going. But again, this version of the event of the Avengers, they're basically like the government-sponsored corporate version of the Avengers, which is what the Dark Avengers were.
Right. Makes sense. Going back to the name, I love this. The whole, like, having them be known as the Thunderbolts, you know, and what are they? We're not really sure. To the common fan, it's maybe they're the Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, the Suicide Squad of a new phase of the MCU. Okay, great. I'm so glad they didn't call them the New Avengers for the last year and a half. However long they've been pushing for this movie.
Right.
So, but then doing this, you know, what is it? A week after the film came out.
Right.
You already own the billboard space. Sure. You know, make it a marketing thing. And all they're doing is just switching posters and everybody's, you know, talking about it again.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing is, you know, they can't really be the Thunderbolts because Thunderbolt Ross has nothing to do with them.
He's got his own issues going on.
The other thing they were saying is originally, it wasn't supposed to be Sentry in there in this. But they felt that because in Brave New World they used Thunderbolt Ross as the Red Hulk, they were like, okay, well, we can't do the same thing, so we are going to switch this out and we're going to put the Sentry into this. And I mean, the way that they ran it, the way that they did it, I'm happy that they brought Sentry into this.
Yeah.
And the way that they brought Sentry into this made a lot of sense. So I mean, now we have one of the most OP characters in all of Marvel. In Marvel, like, and I'm talking like in the comics, like Sentry is a ridiculously OP character, because he's basically Superman.
Right. He's their ripoff.
Right. He's Superman with schizophrenia.
Yes.
Which makes
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like it makes him even scarier. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that.
That's Interesting. You know what's interesting is this next Marvel-ish story. What kind of weird multiverse is this guy living in? Marvel Studios has always been famously tight-lipped when it comes to spoilers, but now that secrecy is at the center of a real courtroom drama.
Yeah.
Nice pull, getting in trouble. The studio is trying to avoid handing over internal documents related to Deadpool and Wolverine in a legal dispute that on the surface has nothing to do with the superheroes. The whole thing stems from a bitter legal battle between actors Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening here? What started as a serious harassment and retaliation lawsuit connected to the film, It Ends With Us, has now roped in Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool. I never saw this coming. So,
I'm
Baldini's.
following the story pretty closely, so I
Oh,
know.
have
exactly
you?
where it's
I
going.
didn't. I had no idea this was happening. All of a sudden, like, I saw this article. I'm like, no way, this is real. No way.
Yeah.
But check this out. Baldini's legal team claims that the character Nice Pool, a variant of Deadpool, was created by Reynolds to mock and harass him amid the dispute. In response, they subpoenaed Marvel's internal communications about the character. I'm like, you could do that? That's crazy.
Yeah, they can do that.
Marvel's parent company, Disney, is fighting back hard. Their reasons: if the documents are released, they could spill spoilers for the future of the MCU. Even though Deadpool and Wolverine has been released, Marvel is concerned that internal notes about a character like Nice Pool might reveal where the franchise is going next or who Deadpool might team up with down the line, which tells me that they're not done with Deadpool, like we talked about earlier in
Right.
Deadpool and X-Force. The fact that Marvel is calling Deadpool an ongoing franchise and invoking crossover potential suggests that Wade Wilson is very much part of the MCU's future. Do you think Ryan Reynolds wasn't playing nice with Nice Pool? What do you think? You're the Deadpool guy. You tell me.
So I can see exactly where they're going with this. They made examples during this court case of why Nice Pool is just basically a stand-in for Justin Baldoni. They were just talking about like the way he treats him and the fact that he uses him as a human shield. It was basically just Ryan Reynolds' way of beating the crap out of Justin Baldoni without actually hitting Justin Baldoni. So, and he's like kills a character that he plays himself. So it's like,
So okay, that's the idea.
right.
I don't think that's real. Do you think that's real?
I can see some of the parallels. The other stuff is that some of the things
I
about
don't see it at all.
well, like some of the things about Nice Pool, like just physically, is essentially the same way as that. Like he almost looks kind of like Justin Baldoni, and some of the things that he says are things that Justin Baldoni has said in the past.
Okay. All right. I didn't know the stuff about what he said in the past, but like I looked at Justin Baldoni in the movie. I watched that movie. I think it was on Netflix with him and Blake Lively.
Yeah.
It Ends With Us. He doesn't look anything like Nice Pool in that movie.
No, because he cut his hair when he did the movie, but he used to have the man bun and everything like that.
Yeah. Oh, so you're suing somebody over a man bun? Come on now.
Well,
You can't sue somebody over a man bun.
yeah, he's suing him over other things. Again, the whole thing is supposed to be like the likeness of Justin Baldoni, and he feels that's retaliation.
You know what? If this was a rumor, my tacos are off the table because no way that this is going to stand up in court because of a man bun.
I hear you on that.
Leave leave Nice Pool alone.
Leave Nice Pool alone.
Oh my gosh.
But again, kind of the other thing was a lot of people when everything was going on with everything with this story, a lot of people were afraid that okay, well, Disney's going to distance themselves from Ryan Reynolds and from Deadpool and everything like that. What's happening now that they're subpoenaing the internal notes is saying that no, Marvel has had plans for Deadpool. Like there are more plans than they're revealing. So like, you know, we hear these rumors about X-Force. How do we know that this wasn't the plan from the beginning, that they were going to do an X-Force movie, or that they're going to do more Deadpool stuff, and that they were planning from the beginning to do more Deadpool stuff? Ryan Reynolds is really good about like hiding stuff and saying, "Oh yeah, no, that was random. We weren't doing that." Right. So I mean, that's I think that they're probably going to see like marketing notes and like just the way that they're planning on talking about things. You know, they probably have notes in there that was like, yeah, no, I'm going to play it off like we're never going to do any more Deadpool content, but we're going to do more Deadpool content.
I would just feel bad if this character, who was super funny, it's super funny having Nice Pool in the movie, if there was like one text message that made fun of Baldini somewhere in all that communication, and that's what takes down, you know, the future of Deadpool. You know, that would be awful. That'd be awful.
Yeah, it'd be absolutely terrible. And I hope that that's not the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I am not a Baldini fan. I'm a Nice Pool fan. You know what I'm a fan of?
What are you a fan of, sir?
I'm a fan of merch because we got merch, people.
We got merch, people. That's right. We got merch.
Look at us keeping the show together. I'm very proud of us. We got merch, people, and so can you. We got the character shirt with a very nice pool, some kind of pool, a unipool, a very nice unipool on it. Yeah, that looks nothing like Baldini. All right,
it is a cartoon version that is actually look at those two little cartoons. They're pretty ripped.
They're pretty ripped, and Baldini's not. So you know.
Fun fact. That's what James' arm actually looks like.
That is all oiled up coconut oil. Looks like that all the time.
He just looks like a straight up Samoan, just walking in, just hella brolic.
Yeah, and you can check it out for yourself. If you get the shirt, all you got to do is DM us at Distance Nerding. Let us know what shirt you're looking for, how many shirts you're looking for, what sizes you're looking for. They're $20 each, 25 if we got to ship it to you. It'll be amazing. Come get them. I don't know what sizes we have. We will have them at the cons.
Absolutely will.
If you come hang out with us at the cons, you can buy them right there from Young Phil. Him and Tyler, shout out to Tyler, we'll have them there. And then shout out to Eric, also in our chat. He may be working on something special for the future of merch.
Did you see the video of the run?
Did you see it?
I obviously, because I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, shout out to Eric. Such a cool dude. Yeah, he's working on a project for us. It's looking amazing. We can't wait to show it to everybody. Hopefully, we'll work towards getting those for cons, that sort of thing. It'll be awesome.
Absolutely. Let's talk schedules, ladies